Welcome back once more to the Razer Academy. I'm MrBitter, joined by Nichol. And today we're going to be talking about Protoss versus Zerg, how to Immortal Push. Might not seem that complicated, but there are some really neat intricacies in the Immortal Push, and Todd's going to be talking us through those. Before we jump into the game, I want to remind you all to check out our previous videos, Zerg versus Mech, and how to 2-base Muta in ZVT. Those came out in previous weeks. They're all very neat, and Zerg players should have a lot of fun experimenting with these new playstyles in their future ladder games.
Yeah, so this replay is Slayer's Brown against Zenex Live, now Starter Live. And it was played during the Korean Iron Squid qualifier recently. They allowed me to cast those replays, so thanks to them. And basically, Brown was going for Immortal Push pretty much every game. And it went really well for him, and I thought that the build was so refined and well executed that it would be cool to do a tutorial about how to do his build. So I'm gonna take you guys through it. Let's go into the game. Okay, so he went for the basic standard pylon at 9, scouting right after it. And his build differ a little bit than other Protosses, as I believe he goes for Nexus first before Forge a lot of the time with the Nexus at 16. So I think this is a very good build, but the thing about it is against the standard pull 14 like it was made now, you need to be very careful not to let links in, because there is a good chance this might happen if you're not careful. And also, he doesn't seem to mind too much the Zerg being able to throw down his hatchery at his natural. You see, like he tries to block it for a little bit, but then I think he will just go back. So we had a Nexus made at 16, Forge behind it at 16 as well.
And I guess if you're worried about Lings getting in, you can't really afford to put down that pylon because you've got to invest in your early wall.
Well, actually, if you do, the Zerg will have a choice. He either kills the pylon here immediately and then you have time, or he runs to you and he lets the pylon here get up. But I think if he runs to your base, it will be better for him, because he might probably get the Ling inside, and he can kill this later. In the meantime, he can just make a hatch here.
So we are going to eventually see an Immortal Push. The map is Ohana. I feel like we see that push a lot on this map. What about Ohana makes it good for these kinds of Immortal timings?
There's a couple of narrow spaces. Like you see, it's not very big around here. If you come from up there as well, you can just take your time and force field all around your army, get some units trapped in. And I think this is mostly about the narrow spaces, but then there is the overlay of the map and the way it's made around here. If you put your building, for example, in the back of your base here or up there, it's very hard for an overlord to scout, because then he will have one overlord usually will come through there and one will come from up there. And the thing about Brown is that he skips Zealots and then he makes one Stalker to deny the scout from his opponent. So now he had to confirm the third hatch to make sure there is no all incoming. He did. In the meantime, some Lings tried to get in, and he denied this very well with the pylon. Now they could still try to get in because there are 4 and 2 of them might survive. Then again, I'm not sure it's particularly worth it, but Life is going to go for it. And pretty nice block here from the probes.
Wow. 3
of the Lings are going to go down. And look, if they try to go up, the cannon will attack again.
So one Zergling is left to try and harass around the natural, but he's going to have a hard time getting a whole lot done. Interesting that we haven't seen a Zealot. How much does skipping this Zealot actually speed up Brown's tech?
You're going to see it in a second. Basically, he wants to get these 2 gases as soon as possible because he wants to build his sentry count. And he's going to take them usually around 620, 630. So this mineral is just super important. And he's basically only chrono boosting through this 6th or 7th minute. And you don't have 1 bit of mineral. If you're spending your cash all the time, all your minerals that you have, you're never going to have the minerals to do everything you want. So skipping that Zealot is just 100 extra minerals. It might not seem like that much, but it's actually, it can ruin your timing if you do make that one Zealot.
Might not seem like much, but it's everything. And guys, as you do practice timing oriented builds, it's very important that you refine those builds so very much, because one supply block, one missed chrono boost, one extra Zealot invested in can throw it off by so much that it makes the difference between winning and losing.
Okay. So you see, he made the Stalker, he cleared the Zenlaga tower to see if there was any all incoming as well. And now he just comes back immediately to deny the scouting. Behind, he made the +1, I didn't mention that earlier, but he made the +1 as soon as possible. This is standard. Behind this was the Stalker and then the Robo. So this is the order you should make it in. He took the 2 gases, I think, close to 630, just a bit before. And now basically he's trying to get a couple sentries out And we should soon see a couple gates being added.
Did Life ever see the Robo? I'm not sure. I would love to. Okay,
yeah,
so
he did see it. But it could still be anything. I mean, Protoss, they can still, before this build, get one observer out very quick.
Could be Immortal Expand.
And
could
then
be,
they will expand if it's an observer first. But now he chooses to go for Immortal first. And the +1 attack is going to finish soon. Then you have the option to go for the +1 armor as well. He added 3 gates. So this is very important as well. You add gates in groups like this. You never add like 1 or 2 gates. You just do like 3 and then again 3 later on again. So you go up to 7 gates. And look how refined the build is. 16, 16, and then 6 on gas, 6 on gas. He's already got this pylon, so as he moves out, he's gonna be able to start warping units out there while his war prism is in the making. Because after you make either 2 or 3 mortals, you need to be able to warp units next to your army, so you're gonna need that war prism. So now we will see. I'm not actually sure whether or not he will get 2 or 3 mortals, but basically, after you've got on your way to making all those probes and stuff, and your robo is out, you basically save all your chrono boost for your robo. And you can time it with the clock as well. It makes it that much more efficient. For example, you chrono boost at 8:40. You don't even need to look at your robo anymore. You just know that you have to come back at 9 and chrono boost without, I mean, you barely look at it. So now he's added these couple more gates. He's going to be on 7 gates total.
7 gates total.
He's making the armor, and you see he's completely cut probes. He doesn't need any more. He already has enough. So we have that war prism that's going to come out. And he moves out now. 9:20. That's so early. The Zerg will never have speed at this time. You see? He's say 90.
Yeah. 20 seconds into roach speed.
Yeah.
So on the production tab, we can see that Life is reacting to this. He's making roaches. He's starting to prepare. Which is important. I mean, you would think that if you give a Zerg player this much time to react, that it would be a a relatively easy defense, right?
Yeah, but it's not, because he's gonna build up his sentry count to 10, usually around 10, and after that he's only gonna warp stalkers. And even if Life has like 40 more supply than Brown should be able to split this army in half and just kill it very slowly. But you need to not mess up the force field. This is probably the most challenging part of this build. So now he's gone up to 9 sentries, and he's gonna start warping only stalkers from now. He just got the 1 armor now, 10 minus 30, and he has this army. It's 57 against 84.
There's also no observer at all. He hasn't produced a single observer.
It's on the way.
Ah, there it comes.
And Life chooses to engage before Brown can have too many units or get into a good corner to be able to force field all those units out. So Brown here, pretty decent force field. I mean, he's killing a lot right now. He has to be careful not to lose too many sentries. He's already lost at least 2. And a very nice flank here from Life. But those force fields were just so good. He locked almost basically the entire army out. He just killed units very slowly. And he's going to be able to keep on reinforcing here. He has to be careful not to run out of force fields, because it would be tragic against this army. And I'm surprised he didn't use Golden Shield here.
Nice. I guess he's saving all of his energy for force field. Does let a few roaches through. Uh-oh. Prism goes down.
And the War Prism does die, but Life has lost so much. He's down to 51. I mean, he couldn't even win the fight with 20 or 30 more supply because of those force fields. And now he's down to 51 against 56. And look, this army just looks so strong, especially since there is the 3 mortals. Only this one has kind of lost some HP. And now he chooses to engage with all of his drones, because he knows that if he holds this very comfortably, he will have won the game. In the meantime, Brown is remaking a War Prism to be able to keep on warping with his army. And this is the right reaction. Against these drones moving out like this and going into your army, you should just attack, go back, attack, go back. If you just sit there, those drones, they're going to be able to attack continuously, and that's going to be very hard for you. So he had, once again, he had a very good reaction here, but just stutter stepping, I guess we could say.
It really feels like Life is almost defending this. He's killed all of the Immortals.
But he lost 16 drones, and he's down to 48 drones against 44 probes. So now finally, it looks like he's kind of held. But Brown did so much damage. He did not kill Life, but he's just crippled him so much. And from there, it will go into a regular game. And he's already made this War Prism. So it's going to be able to use that just to fly around and kind of keep Life in his base.
Yeah.
And also there is one thing that Zergs they sometimes don't pay enough attention to it. If you can get the prism up there and lock the Zerg out, you basically can win the game automatically if you can just defend at home. So he's still making army here. He has his 7 gates, and now he sends this war prism. Life is very busy here trying to attack and make a break since he feels he has much more units than Brown. And Brown is basically going to be able to drop there. Even though Life just saw it, he's going to be able to force field here on time. And he just warped. The first warp is very important. Get a couple zealots to be able to defend those sentries. And then once you have defended them against whichever units are here, you just warp more sentries and maybe some stalkers. And you send those zealots into the main to kill everything. Because even if roaches pop here, it will be just 1, 2, or 3 roaches at once. So now he's sending more units. You have to be very careful, and the very important thing is to always force field on time here. So now, Life, he realized he wasn't going to be able to go up this ramp, so he chooses to counter-attack. But Brown, he saw the roaches leaving, so he should be aware that there is going to be roaches coming his way very soon, and he has this army expecting them, basically.
Yeah, he's making immortals. He's killing the main base. Wow, this is so well executed by Brown. He just... I guess, what's the defining characteristic of Brown's build that makes it work so well? Is it the fact that it's so fast that the push comes?
Yeah, his timings, like the build is very refined. His timings are very well executed, and also he always looking everywhere, like no major mistakes. Always pretty decent force fields, even though they weren't perfect. But like here, for example, he was really looking, paying attention at the army. He split a couple units, and very nice follow-up. I mean, Life held the Immortal Push, but the game wasn't over. A lot of the time, if the Zerg holds very clearly the Immortal Push, you're lost as a Protoss. But here, he was still in the Brown. He could have also chosen to try to take this third and defend it. But in this very game, he chose to kind of take a risk, pick up his sentries, and try to go for this one base lockout build. And it went pretty well for him. So now, very nice follow-up here, actually. A lot of people will go for Colossus and stuff, and I think the best follow-up you can do, especially since he already killed the main, is to go for Blink and +2 and just mass on those stalkers. You already have a couple immortals. He's tried to build up a little bit his sentry count. He only has 3, but while you build up your sentry count, you just make sentries and zealots. And when you have enough sentries, or at least you feel you have enough, you switch into stalker mode and you only make stalkers. I'm actually surprised he moved out this early, because he was getting +2 and Blink, but I guess he felt he had to fight as soon as possible before there is too many infestors, because against this army, if the Zerg can get like 10 infestors, it might become a little bit of a nightmare. So we see the supplies here. 90 to 83, so supply advantage actually here for Brown. He hasn't really resumed making probes ever.
Yeah, he's doing all of this off of 2 bases. It's just really a testament to the strength of the Protoss army if you can keep Zerg from really exploding economically.
And now he basically attacks before the Zerg could have too many infestors, like I said earlier. And this goes really well for him. He basically kills everything. Those infestors have no more energy, and Life doesn't have enough. He just calls GG. And he has Blink now, actually. That just finished. So very good execution here. And although he did not kill Life in this game, he crippled him pretty much. And then Life had a choice to make, and he chose to go for the kind of all-in approach, where he will be very aggressive with all those roaches. He had infestors coming behind this, I guess, but he could have just chosen to sit back and make a lot of drones, I guess. But that's not what he chose to do, and Brown kind of punished him for that. He took a little bit of a risk, which paid off. So even if your Immortal Push goes wrong, as long as you feel you have killed at least a couple of drones, I think you can still come back. It's very hard to do, and obviously Brown played really well, but that was a good demonstration on how refined
the
build can be.
Not only how refined the build can be, but how to follow it up if it doesn't always just win you the game outright. So just, I guess the best summary we can make is keep yourself safe from any sort of early aggression with good refined builds, good scouting, and good placement on all your buildings.
I actually think he could have won this game with better force fields. Like, his force fields were good, but if your force fields are perfect, this is actually one of the rare things in this game that's possible to do. Like, you can't play perfect ever, but you can do perfect force fields. We see a lot of good Protoss being able to do that, and if he had done that, I think he could have won the game on the Immortal Push. So that's a very good and fun thing to do too. I mean, it's just 10 minutes game. You just do this push, you see if you win, then if you win, you win. If you don't, then you can try again.
Cool, man. All right, guys, this has been the Razer Academy How to Immortal Push with Letod and myself. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our previous videos, ZVT 2-base Muta and ZVT How to Roach Drop versus Mech. We've got more great content coming in the weeks to follow. Please stay tuned, and thanks for watching.
See you later.